Hey everyone,
Welcome,
welcome.
everybody. This is Coffee and Tea with Lev and Dean. Come on in. Let's have a coffee. You got your tea? You got your Lev Remembers tea there, Lev?
I
Okay, I
got
got
my
my
tea.
coffee. I got a nice Pike Place in here. I'm really going to enjoy my afternoon with my friend Lev Parnas and all of our Substack family here.
Unfortunately, as live, we always have little things. My dogs are chewing on I gotta get them inside. Give me 1 second while you're doing that.
Oh, they're chewing on the lanai. There you go. Come on, princess. Get in the house. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. We're having coffee. We're having tea. I don't care what you put in your coffee or tea. This is a beverage-free, judgment-free beverage zone. So if you got some Baileys in there, hell, even if you started with some Fireball whiskey inside your coffee and you had to wait until your spouse, significant other left the room to grab, how could you tell I've done this before? Not for a long time, which is great. To grab the Fireball whiskey or the Baileys or the Kahlua, and then you just get a little nip in there, and then you put the top on, and then you go. Unfortunately, none of that here with me today because we're here to run fast, break shit, have fun, and have a conversation about the most fucking insane week. We've had several of them months, but really the most nuclear for Donald Trump, for MAGA. That is Lev Parnas. Give him a follow at Lev Remembers. That's why you're here. We're on his platform today. I'm over at deanblundell.substack.com. We chase this shit down because we are you, and we also have some insights. And my friend Lev has got some real insights as to what the fuck is happening in the White House today. MAGA is on its knees. The Epstein files are coming out. You're watching like a mass defection of the GOP. Susie Wiles, knives out for her as well. Donald Trump, if you're not fucking guilty, don't act like it. Where do we start? Because all of this is good news for you, me, and everybody that's watching today.
It's incredible news, but I want to start off with, first of all, welcome everyone to an incredible, another historical week that we're watching play out in front of our eyes. The one thing I do want to quickly touch on before we get into all of this craziness with Donald Trump is I always want to make sure that we remember our brothers and sisters and kids and everything in Ukraine, because obviously the news is not reporting on it. I please welcome and I ask each and every one of you to please read the Voice of Ukraine, a newsletter I put out today earlier. Gives you an update in the past several days what's been going on. And what's been going on, there's been severe attacks. They're hitting power grids, they're hitting oil. And just like, we told you, Donald Trump is silent. There's no condemnation of, these attacks. There's nothing happening. So it's very important that we continue supporting our brothers and sisters in Ukraine. We're going to do a special this week from Ukraine with Alexander and some other people. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. And for those of you that want to get updated, please go to the read the Substack letter. It'll get you up to speed on everything that's happening there. It's not a happy sight. So if you can continue to help, continue to support, your contributions have, I'll tell you, Dean, we have such an incredible community, a family here. Alex is still delivering right now. That's why you'll see in the letter, like people are still sending videos and pictures of aid still getting delivered all over the place. And that's thanks to each and every one of you. So you should definitely, feel good about yourself because you're actually making a difference, not like the administration and the powers to be. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all of them and, make sure that we never forget and we keep it in our mind because if you see, the media is not talking about it.
No.
There's nothing, it was so, what
Well, there's a bunch of other shit going on, right? And it's too bad. It's also great, but it's too bad because with what we're going to talk about today, with the implosion of MAGA, the pending implosion of MAGA, the Epstein files coming out, the mass defection. What gets lost in that is Ukraine is literally, like, Russia has doubled or quadrupled their assault on major cities like Kyiv. Like it's a disaster over there.
And it's more than that, and that's why I'm glad you said that because it's a lot more than that. There's a reason why Trump is being very quiet because in that whole Epstein dump of emails that we were watching, the one email there was like one or two emails in there that specifically spoke about Epstein's relationships with Russia, spoke about how he was able to, right before the Helsinki meeting, wanted to give Putin and Lavrov basically information how he's the one that could down Donald Trump. There was email between him and Michael Wolff talking about it. So what I'm saying to you is there's a lot more when it comes to the Epstein files that ties into Russia and the attacks in Ukraine. The attacks in Ukraine is one thing, and that's something that is we need to be able to support the people there and make sure that they're able to survive, especially the crucial winter that's happening there right now.
Mhm.
But the other part of it, just like in the Epstein stuff, we have the disgusting atrocities that they did to these young girls, the children, the sex trafficking, all of that. But then there's a financial part of it. There's also, the criminal aspect, how they manipulated the money, how they did the mortgage stuff that Zev has been talking about, how they, use Russian funds. And this is the link that I'm talking about that the media doesn't want to even touch on that I think is extremely, extremely important, is the link between Epstein, the information that he gave. Because the one email here, and that's just one email. See, and this is why people say, why is Trump so scared? Because I think we're going to, there's more, it's not just so he's scared about the pictures of him with some girls and stuff like that. I think he's more scared for us, to the world, to find out that Russia does have something on him, that Epstein did give him something, and that there was some sort of it, because then it would prove basically kill his whole, that Russia was not helping him, was not in control of him, and it would destroy everything that's happening. So there's a tremendous link to that. And that's why nobody's talking about it, but we are. And this is why I want to make sure that everybody, because my sources are telling me that this is one of the things that Donald Trump is extremely, extremely worried about, is for them to fight. Because Epstein and those was talking about how he had a really good relationship with Victor Churkin. Victor Churkin was, for those of you that don't know, was the U.S. He was the ambassador to the United Nations from Russia to the United States. So think about it. You have this Epstein guy that, we know for a fact, we're not going to already assume that he's a pedophile. We know for a fact that he's worked for, other, or, the Israelis and other organizations. We know for a fact that he's dealt with all these oligarchs and powerful people. So he had access to these. And he's saying it plain out that he's had several conversations with Victor Churkin where he's basically telling him how to deal with Trump, and that he understood. And he says that he finally understood. And that's why now he needs to go a little rough. Do you have that text message? You want if you have
I don't have the email, but what I do have is a note from Jacob Carsborough, Danish intelligence officer, who he's had on here, and he went through the emails, and he's like, I was on the UN Security Council at the same time as Vitaly fucking Churkin, Victor Churkin.
Thank you, Victor. Yeah.
Reading an email outlining how he was Epstein's handler and connection and conduit to Russia. He says, and I quote, "Holy shit, this stinks to high heaven." Now, Jacob Carsborough is plugged into every major intelligence apparatus around the world. And he was on the UN Security Council with this guy. This guy, at the same time, being, if I'm to understand this correctly, I'm going to find the email, we can talk about it, but if you could vamp and explain the connection between Epstein and Vitaly Churkin, and then explain that exchange of information and what led up to Helsinki, because this is central. It's about the victims, and yes, we're going to get to that conversation. This is central, dude. Like, this is central to the idea that Donald Trump is not a fucking Manchurian candidate. This is central to the Russia hoax. And he put out a tweet. Yeah, this is it. This is it. And it all sits around the Epstein files.
And that's the crazy. And that's why, remember, in July 6th, when everybody was talking about, this is just another, Epstein. And I said, no, this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. This is his kryptonite, because this empowers a lot of other things. But the biggest thing that nobody's realizing, it empowers the actual relationship that not that Trump had with the Russians, but what the Russians had on Trump. Because Epstein was this close, and we're starting to see the conduits. Because one of the things I've been reporting about and talking about is how when the Democrats when they were screaming with all of this stuff that there's this P tape and Russia has the goods on Trump because of this P tape. See, this is why Trump was so defiant, and this is why I always said that we knew there was no P tape, but that didn't mean that there was no compromise that they had on Trump, because the operation that they were running on Trump ran for over 40 years. It started when he got involved when he married Ivana. And at that point, what they did is basically put a web around him. and they through his, if you take a look at through his whole, going through his early years, and as he went up, there was always Russian money to rescue him. There was always Russian money to give him. They've also put established people. Now you're starting to find out that Epstein is now one of the conduits. And just think about, see, Trump's trying to now distance himself from Epstein, not because of the girls or the pedophile stuff. He's trying to distance himself from Epstein because it's the link to the Russians in Churkin and all of this stuff, because that's what he found out. See, Trump did not know this stuff until, that's why Trump led that whole campaign when he got into office, and Patel and Bondi opened up and gave him that briefing.
So
Remember that
truly
famous
defining
briefing?
the words useful idiot. Like he had no idea he was a
Right.
mark.
They told him, they said, this is going to come out, that Epstein, and all these, because think about it, we're just getting one conversation. We're just getting one part of the whole email chart. We're getting Epstein's emails from his trust. But think about the DOJ. That's why that's important, because they handpicked all of the stuff that would be considered criminal, or all of the stuff that would be pertaining to criminal. So that's the stuff they're holding back. That's the real juice. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So this is why what I reported, and I broke the news yesterday. I know a lot of people have been jumping all of it, but our family here knows about it, is that what you saw yesterday transpire was
Mhm.
not a coincidence. This was, if you remember, several months ago, I wrote a Substack letter basically saying that there's a contingency place that they're putting in place. That if they can't control the Epstein files, they're going to go after Clinton, they're going to go after some Summers, they're going to go after some very big names,
Hoffman.
but
Yep.
Hoffman. But the purpose of it, and they're going to also throw in some Republicans. Don't watch that. This is not the. This is, they're going to throw a whole mishmash. But it's not just about taking the eye off the ball off of Trump, and it's not over. But it's a strategic plan, because now, because what they're are going to be able to do is, now they don't have, because now, since there's an open investigation, a criminal investigation, now they do not have to comply with any subpoenas from Congress, from any of this. So now, even if there's a vote, even if they say release the Epstein files, Bondi's going to come up there and say we have an open investigation. Patel's going to come up there and say we have an open investigation. We
Yep.
can't comment on this until it's
Can't
going on.
comment on open investigations,
And
ongoing
can't comment.
investigations. Can't tell you about
Exactly.
my conversations with the president. Yeah.
Exactly, and
It's all the same bullshit.
that's why, folks, and that's why, it's so extremely important for what we're trying to do is, and that's why the midterms are so important, because if we get control of the House and the Senate, we could get rid of Bondi. We could so it's not just about. See, a lot of people keep talking about, oh, you're going to impeach Trump again. Forget Trump. We're going to go after the enablers, because they don't have the same protection that Trump does. You start picking them off. You start going after Bondi, Patel, Hegseth, and all of them. We can. It goes right on the chain.
Yep.
Everything starts coming apart. So that's why it's extremely important. And for those of you, I want to just also thank every single one of you who has contributed to our GoFundMe. The GoFundMe is doing really good. I want to thank you, but I want to be honest with you guys. And if you have it, please post it there, because to make sure we need to keep spreading it wide. We need to be, for those of you that have it, put it up there. I just want to say this, and I want to be very blunt with you. We've been on several calls, and some of you of our subscribers, and you're are on there with us, and you're hearing exactly what's happening. First of all, a lot of these bookers, a lot of these publicists, PR, a lot of these agencies that we need to put together this team to be social media, are either scared to take us on, or some of these prices are extremely expensive to deal on with the big boys. So I want to make it very clear that what we're trying to do, this is just the first step. We're going to need a lot more, and but the first step needs to be grassroots. We can't be relying. We can't be dependent on anybody out there that's with their agenda. It has to be our agenda, and our agenda is very particular, to be able to go in to places where the Democrats can't go, and to be able to speak truth to power. So I want to thank everybody for all your kindness and doing it. And I know it's tough. I know right now times are tough. Holidays are coming up. There's so many different organizations. You don't know who to go send it to. So I understand it all, and I'm with you guys. But I just want you to keep in mind one thing. Think about, a lot of them do mostly the same thing. we are unorthodox. What we're about to unleash, what we're about to do, is a totally different ball game. It's totally different. So, for those of you that follow us, so I just wanted to throw that out there to make sure you guys know that, and thank each and every one of you that are supporting it, because we're getting started. We're already, actually, just as an update, we're working on, right now, our first trip to Washington D.C., to North Carolina. We're going to do some events in Florida right now. So we're doing with what we can, and we're going to keep moving, and we're going to keep plowing. So that's why we just need your support, and keep rocking and rolling, because we have some surprises lined up for Donald Trump. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Dean, because
We do have some surprises lined up for Donald Trump. Loose lips sink ships. So we're not going to talk about that. What we can tell you is Lev's aim is true. The GoFundMe, if you have it handy, if you can just pop it in the chat, that would be phenomenal. We are you, but we also have a little bit of agency in different capacities. And so we're going to start pressing that button, putting our thumbs on the scales. To that point, I want to get to this email, and then we're going to talk about picking off the weak members of the herd, because you are 100% right. The Republican Party, MAGA, the GOP, and it was referenced this way, and I'm going to steal the reference from a friend of mine, is nothing but a bunch of people standing in the same line with a knife in front of them to shiv the guy in front and a knife in their back, getting ready to be shivved by somebody else right now. We are looking at what could be not just a mass defection, and you're going to see that this week with a vote in the House on the Epstein files. We are looking at like all hands on deck, rats abandoning the fucking ship because of the Epstein files, and not just because of the victims, because that's number one in my mind, but because of what lays behind that door of what is in the Epstein files and the financial trail and the people involved. Which brings me to that email that you referenced. Very specific. This date, 2018. This is June 24th, 2018. Donald Trump has been the president for 2 fucking years. This is an email from from Jeffrey to one of his handlers, where he said, Churkin was great. Churkin was now dead. Churkin was great. He understood Trump after our conversations. It is not complex. He must be seen to get something. It's that simple. In response, he says, I'll meet Lavrov's assistant on Monday. I will suggest, thank you for a lovely evening. I'll come to the UN high level next week. And then he says, quote, I think you might suggest to Putin that Lavrov, this is from fucking Jeffrey Epstein, what he's telling Churkin to say to Putin through an intermediator. I think you must suggest to Putin that Lavrov can get insight talking to me. Vitaly Churkin used to, but he died. And that is the end of the email. That exchange lays out Jeffrey Epstein communicating directly with the fucking Kremlin, Vladimir Putin, Sergei Lavrov, through a handler, used to be Churkin. And
absolutely,
Churkin used to be Jeffrey Epstein's conduit and agent d'affaires to the Kremlin.
yeah. And we're going to get into
Okay.
all of it. We have a special guest that I
Oh,
just
hi, Ellie.
Hello. Sorry, I couldn't hear you guys.
yeah, we've never met, so I'm excited.
Hi, Lev.
But I've watched some of your work in in some lives you do. So I'm glad
Thank you.
you're here with us. It's a special surprise. So welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's good to see you guys. Good to see you, Dean. Welcome back.
Oh my God, Ellie, it is so nice to finally meet you. You and I communicate all the time. Your work here is unparalleled when it comes to not just what is in the Epstein files, but some of the minutiae in the Epstein files. So I'm really fucking glad that you're here. Plus, this Halloween, where you said you had to get dressed up for your soul sucking job as a notepad, made me laugh my ass off. By the way, so thank you.
I keep writing to people and go, can you please just get me fired? Like, that's all I want. I just want to be fired.
Everybody, if you subscribe to Lev, you subscribe to me, subscribe to Ellie. She's on the call. Hit that Chiron at the top. Make sure you give her a follow. It's Coffee and Tea with Lev and Dean. I don't know if you got your coffee or if you got your tea, Ellie. But let's get to some of this Epstein files tea, because no one's done a more nuanced dive. Let's kind of move over from the victims, if we can, just for a second, to kind of address the conversation we're having about, effectively, we're finding out now how deeply and how disturbingly that relationship is with Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Russia. What are some of the takeaways from you, just in light of this conversation?
Well, it's funny because I've been talking to Zev a lot offline. Like, we've been sort of in cahoots, and like, it's great when they keep dropping files, but we're like scrambling to get through like the previous set of files. So I was still going through all the JP Morgan stuff. And the thing that blows my mind is how central Epstein was to the global scale of finance, like
Yep.
Russia. I mean, he's
Mhm.
telling China what loans to take out, who to talk to, who not to listen to, how much to take out, don't accept this. Like he's telling their finance minister guy, like that guy needs, advice from some rando who got a job, without any skills. So it's shocking to me. And it's just like this constant drum in my mind of like, how the hell did he get here? How does he have this authority? Like, is he talking to someone higher than him, or does he literally have this much power as a singular person? And like, where does this start? Because like he's meeting with Putin. Like there's emails in there where he's going to meet with Putin. There's emails where he's meeting with like, Israel. And then today is kind of a little side tangent. So they have the New York Times Deal Book Conference every year. And I've been one time, I do all their transcripts. They have invited Ehud Barak to speak at their conference next month at the New York Times. And I immediately wrote to Andrew Ross Sorkin and I said, hey, by the way, what are you doing? Because I know him, he knows me. And he wrote back and he just said, I hear what you're saying. Thanks. And I was just, that's shocking to me. That sends such a message to where media stands. It's surprising. Like
It's
yeah.
that's why on that note, I want to say again, make sure you subscribe to L, make sure you subscribe to independent journalists like Dean, because that's exactly,
Mhm.
media is not reporting it.
Mm.
Think about everything we're talking about here, and we didn't even get into any of the major malicious stuff. We're just going off the top, and none of this is being reported. There's so much there. There was over 20,000 emails, folks. That we're finding out things every day. We're just hearing some of the big ones, but a lot of it gets lost in transition
Mhm.
as exactly the main of the relationships and what Trump is really, really worried about, scared about. So please
Yeah.
hit that Chiron up there and make sure you cross pollinate. Make sure you subscribe. I didn't even realize it, El, and I just did it
What?
myself. That's what I said. I wasn't subscribed. I was
Oh, hey,
following you,
hi.
but I wasn't subscribed. So I just did it also. So yeah, I
Thank
just
you.
pressed the button. I just subscribed. So everybody,
Thank you.
make sure
Thank
you
you.
go do that. So El, tell me a little bit about what you're uncovering, like what you're seeing, because there's so much in it. It's tell our subscribers what's like some of the crazy stuff that you're seeing that we
Well,
need to talk
you
about.
know, I I guess my shtick is like when there's something that's really big, like those emails that came out a couple days ago and everybody was talking about like 5, 6 different specific emails. Like when that pops up, I kind of let people take care of that because I know everyone's talking about that same thing. And I go, okay, you do take care of that over here. I'm going to keep digging over here for the stuff that we're not talking about yet. And so, I mean, I would say, um, be gentle to the independent journalists right now because they're very tired. They're working for nothing. They're staying up all night. Like 20,000 files is a lot of files. People like me and a lot of people on here are working full-time jobs and then coming home and doing this into the wee hours. So the things that I'm uncovering, like the one thing that really stuck out to me a couple nights ago, is that there was an email from Alan Dershowitz. And something that goes back to Virginia Giuffre that I knew before her book came out, but
Is
then
this the
when
same
her book,
Alan Dershowitz that kept his underwear on? Same
yeah,
guy?
good
Okay.
guy,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
guy.
yeah. I'm aware.
Um, she she at one point had accused him as part of her lawsuit as being one of the sexual abusers when she was underage. Not surprising. He's at Epstein's house all the time. I still don't think he has condemned Epstein. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has. Um, and then at one point she stands up and she makes a statement and says, "I was wrong. It wasn't Dershowitz. I mistakenly identified him. I was young and traumatized. My fault. My bad." Walks away. And I remember just thinking like that's impossible. It's impossible. A, because you don't forget a face when somebody's abusing you. And B, because she's never said that about anyone ever, of anyone she's ever accused. And that just didn't sit well with me. And then her book came out and it kind of said the same thing. It was very gentle about it. And I knew that wasn't true. I have a very close source who I asked specifically. I said, "Is that true?" And she goes, "No, that's not true. He raped the heck out of her. Like, he's a bad guy." But then I'm digging through these emails and just before I went to bed, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, just before I go to bed, one pops up and it's from Alan Dershowitz. and it's to Virginia's lawyer, David Boies, and it says, this is what she has to say. And it's the exact statement that she said. And I
I
thought,
got
there it
goosebumps.
is. There
Are
it
you
is.
fucking serious?
I
I
got
am
goosebumps.
absolutely
I
serious.
got
Yep, I
goosebumps.
posted it. So you can go back through my notes, but I posted it. But it's like literally the exact statement that she said. And I thought, there it is. There is the proof that she was threatened and forced to make that statement. And then he walked
Wow.
away with $4 million. So it's like, I don't know. Those are the
He's
things I'm
still
looking
running
for.
around. Yeah, he's still running around protecting him, saying he's not a
Yeah.
pedophile. That the charge that he pleaded to, he said the girl was 17
Oh yeah.
years old and 10 months, and that does not consider. I mean, just think about how sick he is, because
Yeah.
he's saying just that if she was 18, it's also okay, just because legally,
Yeah.
the
How old was
fact
he? In
that
like his 50s? Like, go get a
right,
girlfriend, right? Like, I
exactly,
don't.
like it does. It's just sick. It's just sick.
Who, Epstein at the time? No, you mean Dershowitz at the time. He was in his early 60s. He was in his late 50s, early 60s. He's 84 years old right now. And the fucking crazy part is that Alan Dershowitz has somehow been able to, just because of his title, just because of his reputation, be able to threaten people with his title and reputation, be able to threaten people with his professor emeritus law Harvard fucking bullshit. And that's the crazy part to me. And Alan Dershowitz is no shrinking violet. He'll sue the fuck out of anybody. And he managed to get $4 million from a victim that he allegedly raped, and also threatened into making a fucking statement that you have uncovered that somehow nobody's talking about. And that is the fucking shame, is that we've got these independent journalists. To your point, everybody go and subscribe to Ellie right now. Go do it.
Absolutely.
Go do it. Ellie Leonard, go do it right now. Go subscribe. Give her a paid sub. She is absolutely incredible at this. Not only is she incredible, is she's bulletproof, and her aim is true. Is the fact that you're the only person talking about it. The fact that I just found out about it.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I've been gone for a couple of days because we're going to go and save America next after we save Canada. But I will, don't you worry. But the idea that people are so afraid, and that fear factor and the lack of courage, when you've got people like you that are working 2 jobs, Substack, your day job, the soul sucking stuff, coming back at 1 o'clock in the morning going, no, this doesn't make any sense. And being hard nosed enough to be able to say, oh my God, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to turn in, but I think I just found a smoking gun.
Right. And and it's interesting. So my source is very close with Virginia's family. And so I immediately sent it to her because I was like, they need to see this, because they know this. I mean, they know that to be true already. They're her family. But I was like, everybody needs receipts. Like, we need receipts, because I believe these women. I believe them. But there's a whole hell of a lot of powerful people that don't. And so we need those receipts. And so, like, my stance on all of this is, I don't need a scoop. I don't need to be like breaking a story. Like, if I find something like that, I'm going to send it to everybody that I know that has a bigger platform than I do, because I just want that to be like slammed on the front page of some newspaper somewhere, so that Alan Dershowitz goes to jail. Like, that's all I care about. I don't care about breaking news. I care about bad people going to jail. And so when I found that, like, I immediately sent it to my source. I immediately sent it to Zev. Like, I sent it to there's a guy, I forget, David Enrick, I think, who's from the New York Times. So he's on my Signal. I sent it to him because he was like, send me the stuff that I haven't found yet. Like, I just sent it everywhere because I was like, I don't care if I'm the first person who says this. Like, I just need it. I just need this information to go somewhere and do something and like change policy and throw people in jail. Like, that's all I care about.
Al, I'm the same way. That's what I built my platform about. I tell my subscribers the same thing. It's all about getting the message out. That's what it's about. It's not about, we're not here to try, get some credit. We're not here building a reality show. We're literally here trying to save our democracy. This is, and sometimes, it feels like people, don't realize it and forget about it because, but this is really, really serious stuff. Just think about what we're talking about. We're talking about Alan Dershowitz, who was Trump's attorney, who's still running around free and clear, all of this stuff that is connecting it. That's just one of the powerful people. We saw emails about Steve Bannon. We saw emails about Elon Musk. We saw emails about Peter Thiel. We saw emails about, and again, I don't care if you're a Democrat or if you're a Republican. It doesn't matter. You did something wrong, you go down. And that's why, it's not about, this shouldn't be about right, left. This should be about right or wrong. And that's the important part. So, El, thank you so much for coming up, for being with us, for fighting support. And if you need anything, DM me. And now that we subscribe, we should do some lives together. But yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Definitely. Keep up the fight. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye, guys.
Everybody go
We'll talk to you soon,
El.
Okay,
absolutely.
bye, guys. That's us. Oh, she's fucking unbelievable. You know, and that's
it was a surprise. I saw her up there, and I was actually just watching one of her shows not too long ago. I was on a live, and I was like, I gotta get in touch with her. And I saw her pop up. I was like, let me take a shot. And she was great. She came up. Thank you, El. Definitely, guys, go subscribe. You know, it's like independent journalists, like you say. I know what she's talking about because I haven't been able to speak to my son literally in 2 days. I spoke to his wife, and she's like, he's buried and ripping apart these emails, and this is what should be done. Instead, if you turn on all of the CNNs of the world, everything there, it's the same three text messages that they're talking about from 3-4 days ago. It's the same story, regurgitation, and just enough is enough.
And listen, if you ask me, there like, even just that conversation with Ellie, and you'll say the same thing. I mean, the Churkin email is worse than the other emails. The Dershowitz email is worse than the other emails. There are so many other emails that are so much worse that point to Donald Trump just by volume alone, Lev. Like, what was it, 23,000 pages? Donald Trump is mentioned over 2,300 times, almost every page per ratio. He is mentioned 22 times more than anybody else not named fucking Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell.
Just think about it, and think about how he talks about Donald Trump. Think about, I mean, this is
they hated him. They fucking mocked him.
This is the whole thing, and this is what I always talk about. Even when I was in MAGA, I'll never forget. This was the same thing. Like when Trump was there, they'd all kiss his ass. When Trump was around, they would all make fun of him. They would, I mean, it didn't matter. They would all make fun of him. It didn't matter if it was Rudy or if it was Victor. They made, Don Jr., they would all make fun of them, and
Don Jr. would make fun of his dad?
No, they would make fun of Don Jr., I'm saying to you.
Oh. That's fucking easy, though.
That was an easy one. But you know what I'm saying to you? And it doesn't change. And then you could see this actually going on continuously and happening even right now. So, I mean, listen.
Can we get to that panic, though? Because I want to start making fun of him a little bit, too, because he's losing his mind. I want to get to what you've heard from your sources inside the White House. How big the ketchup stains are, what's been thrown against the wall in the Oval. That's what I want to know.
Well, why don't we do this a little bit? So we have a little bit of both, because sometimes we get into our conversations and we forget.
Q&A.
Let's do a little Q&A. Maybe see if anybody else wants to come up here, and then we'll get back to some of the stuff going into also. So this way we don't forget you guys, because part of what this is for you guys, for the paid subscribers, for the subscribers, for you guys that are building our family. So, Deed, if you see any questions, go up there. I'm going to go take a look at our chat. A lot of people were putting questions in the chat. So I'm going to take a look and see if there's... one of the questions a lot of people are asking, and this is actually a good thing that we want to talk about, is Marjorie Taylor Greene. If anybody wants to come up here and wants to talk to about Marjorie Taylor, we could talk about. But this is one of the things that is actually, guys, is incredible. This is really, 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 really becoming a major issue.
It's huge. It escalated yesterday. Let me read you a couple of emails. So Marge has come out hard against Donald Trump, to your point, and everybody's asking, but what about Marjorie Taylor Greene? It's over. The Marjorie Taylor Greene Donald Trump love affair is not over, but they're now going at each other like cats and fucking dogs. Donald Trump tweets 2 days ago, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a disgrace to our Republican party. Then he lines this bad boy up. We're going to be heavy on Truth Social tweets this week. She's a disgrace to the party. Yeah, she wasn't when she was talking about Jewish space lasers, but somehow she's now holding this guy accountable, or at least trying to, and now she's a fucking disgrace. He says, and I quote, this is November 14th, 8:31 p.m., Donald Trump's Truth Social post. I'm withdrawing my support and endorsement Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene with the great state of Georgia. Over the past few weeks, despite my creating record achievements for our country, including a total and complete victory on the shutdown, oh my God, closing borders, low taxes, no men and women's sports or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation. The reason why I haven't caught my breath yet is because we haven't seen a period, by the way. Stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, biggest regulation cuts in history, stopping 8 wars, rebuilding our military, being respected by every country in the world as opposed to being the laughingstock, still no period. And we were just 12 months ago having trillions of dollars, record-setting, invested in the U.S. say still no fucking period, and having created the hottest country anywhere in the world from being a dead country over the past 12 months ago and from so much more, all I see still no period. This is the most incredible run-on sentence ever. All I see wacky Marjorie do is complain, complain, complain. We now have an exclamation mark. So there's the end of the longest sentence in the world. It seemed to all begin when I sent her a poll stating that she should not run for senator or governor. She was at 12%, didn't have a chance, unless, of course, she had my endorsement, which she wasn't about to get. She has told she has told many people, fuck, this guy's such a small man. She has told many people that she is upset and that I don't return her phone calls anymore. But with 219 congressmen and women, 53 U.S. senators, 24 cabinet members, almost 200 countries, and otherwise normal life to lead, I can't take a ranting lunatic's call every day. It gets better. I understand that wonderful conservative people are thinking about primarying Marjorie in the District of Georgia, that they too are fed up with her and the antics, and if the right person runs, they will have my complete and unyielding support. She has gone far left, even doing The View. Jesus Christ. With their low IQ Republican-hating anchors, thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. That's insanity. That is a guy on his fucking back right now, wondering if he's going to make it to tomorrow. That is dementia. I don't know who has access to his phone, if he just dictates this to somebody, but you did him dirty by allowing him to put that out. Dude, he is, and here's the thing, it gets better. It gets better because he's not only fucking losing his mind about Marjorie Taylor Greene going, I'm not endorsing her anymore. This is how he is defending himself against the Epstein files, which directly implicate him as being involved in the Epstein files. I got to read you this. This is fucking so good, Lev. You got to love this.
I love
the Democrats. What's that? What you love?
I said, I love it. I'm enjoying this. I'm having a little.
Everybody, hang in there. I got two more, a little shorter. The Democrats are doing everything in their withering power to push the Epstein hoax again, despite the DOJ releasing 50,000 pages of documents. That never happened. In order to deflect from all their bad policies, they're not in charge. And losses, especially the shutdown embarrassment, that didn't happen either. Where their party is in total disarray and had no idea what to do. Some weak Republicans have fallen into their clutches. because they're soft and foolish. Epstein was a Democrat. He was a fucking pedophile. He was like a fucking disgusting pedophile. He's like, but even worse, he was a Democrat, and and he's the Democrats' problem, not the Republicans' problem. Ask Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, and Larry Summers about Epstein. They know all about him. Don't waste your time with Trump. I have a country to run. Don't look at me. Look at those guys. I'm busy running the country. I don't know what to say. And then he puts this one out about an hour later. Now that the Democrats are using the Epstein hoax involving Democrats, not Republicans, to try to shut down and deflect from their disastrous shutdown, all their other failures, I will be asking AG Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice, together with our great patriots at the FBI, to investigate Jeffrey Epstein's involvement and relationship with Bill Clinton, Larry Summers, Reid Hoffman, J.P. Morgan Chase, and many other people and institutions to determine what was going on with them and him. This is another Russia scam with all the arrows pointing to Democrats. Records show that these men and many others spent large portions of their life, not time, their life with Epstein and on his island. Stay tuned, everybody. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I want to just say to everybody out there, none of this forgives Marjorie Taylor Greene for being who Marjorie Taylor Greene is.
Correct.
None of this, excuses the nasty, all the garbage and all the bad things she's done over the years. So, with that said, this is fucking incredible. because I mean
It's
this I
fucking
can
awesome.
tell you I mean this is really under his skin. I mean this is the shit that I want to do. This is what you're seeing play out right now, and this is exactly part of what my game plan. What I want to go in there is I
Yeah.
want them to go at each other's throats.
Oh yeah.
None of them like each other. None of them
No.
like now. You're gonna see Laura Loomer going to be all over because she's gay. I told you so. Marjorie Taylor Greene's a rhino now. Now Marjorie Taylor Greene is all of a sudden now. There's like, wait a second, you got the Matt Gateses and you got all of these hardcore, Marjorie Taylor. You say, wait, so what's happening? Tucker Carlson. You got the what's it called? Interviewing what's his name? The white
Fuentes.
supremacist Fuentes, which is still going on. You got Charlie Kirk. His death. They already MAGA is convinced that it was staged. They're completely what's it called? There's no names. There's now Joe Rogan talking about how even Trump's own assassination, might be something funny about that shooting going on there. This is insane, folks. This is when we right now. Why I say right now is not time to relax. Is not time to sit back. Not time to gloat or joy or nothing. Trust me, because we have Donald Trump's not giving up that easy. We
Yeah.
got right now our warships in Venezuela. When I'm hearing it, it's
he'll wag that fucking dog. He will.
Yeah, no, he will. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when,
Yeah.
and he will do that. He's going to try to do something with the insurrection. He understands it's not just him now, because you got to understand, Donald Trump might have certain securities, but his crew of the Pam Bondis, all of these people have no securities whatsoever. I mean, even the pardons. I mean, a lot of people say he's going to give him preemptive pardons like he did with Rudy Giuliani. That, folks, after what he's doing right now by trying to and invalidate Joe Biden's pardons, he's basically
invalidating his own.
Right. He's basically coming up and saying, we need to revisit that whole pardon rule altogether and see if the president should be able to have such unlimited to be able to bribe and force and allow his people to do a crime. I don't think that's what the pardon power was made for. But now that
you weren't supposed to monetize the pardon office?
Right,
I didn't know that.
Exactly. So with all of these historians talking about, well, legally he has the right to do whatever he wants. The pardon power gives him that. Well, then change the law. Like, what are we doing here? If that allows him, and we're seeing a corrupt president becoming basically trying to be a king. Why? Because he has the pardon power. Because he could come to people and say, listen, do whatever you want. I'm just going to pardon you. Nothing's going to happen to you. Because he could say, oh, you give me a couple of $1 billion in my crypto, I'll get you out of prison. I mean, I'll pardon you. I mean, that is why, we need to change certain rules. And that's why we need to get Congress in there. And we need a real Congress. We need change in Congress. We need people in there that are fresh, that have the goal, that want to go in there and make change, that want to
anti-institutionalists.
Yeah. Screw that shit already. Get rid of this old guard, Schumers, and thank God Pelosi retired. Now we need Jeffries to go. We need all of these people. We need some fresh young blood in there to go. In there to be able to really take America to the next level. Because this old regime is just basically like that's like drags us down like what's that when you stand in
quicksand.
Yep. It's like quicksand, and the more you try to get out of it, the more it drags you in there. So
listen, I want to I love having these coffees with you on Saturday mornings. That is Lev Parnas. Lev remembers, give him a sub. Dean Blundell at substack.com or something like that. You'll find me. You go there. Please subscribe and please share this. Please hammer those hearts. Really, really important, because we want to get to the top of the algo. We want as many people to hear what we have to talk about, because the number one question that I've seen in the chat, and we're going to get back to a couple of chat questions here. Please, if you're a paid sub, put your questions in here. Q&A is a big part of this, and we want to drive you. We want you driving the content boat every Saturday morning when we have coffee. But one of the big questions was, and it was referenced a little bit earlier, what are you hearing about the panic inside the disco? Like, what are you hearing about what's going on in the White House, in the Oval Office? Because, he's using the Situation Room, inviting crazy Lauren Boebert in with her vape to talk about,
Mm.
hey, let's get your name off that discharge petition. Now, there's an uprising and a floor crossing that's coming when it comes to this vote. 40 to 50, I'm hearing, maybe more, are going to. They've got an escape hatch, and they're going to vote to release the Epstein files. But which is awesome. I'm really excited. I really hope it happens. But what I'm really interested in is the Schadenfreude, which is my favorite German word of all time. The Schadenfreude going on inside the White House and the panic within the Trump regime right now, specifically his state of mind. What are you hearing?
Oh, he's off. He's off the rails. He's on the phone, screaming, threatening congressmen because you're 100% right. What happened with Lauren Bobbitt backfired on them. He wasn't in the Situation Room. I'm hearing it was Pam Bondi and Kash Patel that were there with him, with her, putting pressure on her. He made phone calls, and and I'm hearing also from sources on Lauren Bobbitt's side is that she came out even more with more questions than answers, basically saying to somebody, heard her saying basically something to the fact that Trump, why won't he just show the records? What is he so scared of? What are they trying to cover up over there? So even Lauren Boebert, he couldn't get her across the line. But what he's more concerned about right now is, like you said, the onslaught of congressmen they're gonna and congresswomen they're gonna when the vote comes down next week, and that's crucial because then that's gonna put pressure on the Senate, which was another place he's making phone calls already using Lindsey Graham and others, where he's trying to push to make sure that if it gets to the Senate that they try to shut it down there. But getting back to the Congress, I actually spoke to and I had Congressman Don Bacon on my Substack. I've spoken to others in there, and I'm here. He's definitely going to be voting. Also, yes, and I'm hearing a lot, maybe as high as up to 100. Up to 100 congressmen and congresswomen that are planning to flip.
Say yes to the discharge petition, right?
Yes, to say yes to the discharge petition. And that is why and I wrote yesterday at 10:30 at night when I got the phone call, why they initiated. This is a contingency plan, which I wrote about months ago, which they initiated yesterday because the only way now they could block giving information without Trump being the bad guy, because they understand that after his phone calls to Congress and Senate, he understands that it's a tsunami, it's a wave, a tidal wave that's coming, he can't stop. And he knew it was going to hit his desk. And at first his reaction was, screw it, I'm not just going to sign, I'm going to veto it and get rid of it, and that's it, and we're going to move on. And that's when the team got together and they gave him the better idea of throwing Bondi under the bus, and having her be the scapegoat like she was last time, basically reopen an investigation that she said there was nothing there, that so just think about what they're doing, the strategically. I mean, they basically came out July 6th and said there's nothing there, that's it, the investigation's closed, there's no criminal activity. In the past several months, they've sent the deputy attorney general to meet with one of the co-conspirators and the child predators and the person Maxwell in her, I was going to say hotel room. That's where she's going to be next, probably.
Might as well. Yeah.
Visit her in prison. Again, and in that, out of that conversation, there was no tapes when they revealed the tapes talking about, looking into criminality. There was no cases opened up afterwards. There was no investigation happened. Again, they basically said there's nothing there. Trump is basically never knew Epstein. Epstein never did anything wrong. And because of that, she got a nice little change of address, a puppy, some Uber Eats, and now she's looking at getting a commutation or a pardon because of all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, dude, even on Air Force One the other day. So again, the Truth Social tweets are one thing. The visual and verbal responses from this moron are something completely different. He was asked on Air Force One, are you still looking at a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell? He's like, I'm looking at it. And, I don't know if it's the dementia or not. Probably not the fucking smartest thing to say when this whole thing is bearing down on you. But then she asks another question about the Epstein file, same reporter, and he looked at her and he goes, quiet.
Quiet. That's his new thing.
Literally, quiet.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna take a question. That's another thing I'm curious to see next time we take a look, see if Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend Brian is in the press pool.
Oh, for sure, he'll be in the press
Uh,
pool.
well, you don't know. I want to see. I mean, what is going on?
He's like Trump's press roll cage, right? He's like that thing that protects him, where you can feed a friendly question
I
in,
mean, yeah,
help the guy out.
but now there's trouble at
Oh
home,
yeah,
bro.
trouble in
Yeah,
paradise, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
Marjorie. He's like, yeah, fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Marjorie Taylor Greene yesterday's like, you know what? Fuck that guy. And now poor Brian's caught in the middle. Like, what's he gonna do? This is the one of the biggest media losers on the planet. And every day he looks more puffy from his massive fucking alcoholic issue that he has. And he's sitting there and he's going, this is my prime job, Marge. Can you imagine getting caught in the middle of this? Marge, what are you doing? This is I've been working my whole life for this. I'm in stage 4 cirrhosis. I don't have much
oh,
time
you got, and I gotta tell you, one thing. Oh, by the way, a lot of you also are asking about. We could transition a little bit into that.
Yeah.
Dan Bongino. So I could tell you. So from what I'm hearing is there is Dan Bongino is still on the other side. Dan Bongino still has not really spoken to Trump. There is communication constantly. He has not spoken out. The interesting part is he's still literally, if you go to his social media page and if you go to like with all this Epstein going on, you gotta understand this is a man that literally every day, 24 hours a day, made a career and a life talking about the corruption and the unleashing the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And with 20 with all these drops and everything, you don't even hear his name. You don't see him at the White House. You see Kash Patel, and even with the Lauren Bobbitt, you saw Kash Patel and Pam Bondi at the Situation Room. He's nowhere to be found. You haven't seen him at the White House. You haven't seen him stand behind Trump in the Oval. You haven't seen Congressman Ro Khanna has mentioned it on TV. Me and him have spoken about it just a couple of days ago. He was on CNN. He's also mentioned it, and I'm glad he did. I've also spoken to her. So that's part of our plan. Part of my plan, and I know Dan Bongino, and part of my plan is that once we get some of this funding in place, and once we get the team ready, and when I go to DC, I'm going to confront Bongino. We're going to basically do some interesting stuff to make sure maybe, he's ready to come out. And if he's not ready to come out, we're going to put him on the spot. I mean, just like Laura Loomer does to everybody else, we'll give him a little taste of their own medicine where, he can't hide, where, we have people everywhere asking him what's going on with the Epstein files. So I know how to do it, and we're going to do it. But I can't be myself in all these places. So we need a team, we need people, and that's part of the GoFundMe, why we put it together, to be able to be able to grow quickly. Because the one thing we don't have is time, folks. Time is extremely the one thing we don't have. So Dan Bongino is somebody that I recommend, and I tell everybody, if you're out there, if the press is listening, if you're listening to what I'm saying to you, go out there, start asking the questions. Nobody's asked, even in the Oval. Ask the president, how's Dan Bongino doing? Let's see how he responds. Say to you, go.
It you bring up a really great point, because Dan Bongino is that weak kind of zebra on the edge of the herd, right? And we talk about trying to pick some of these people off, and he's weak only by virtue of the fact that he seems to understand a couple of things. One is, this is going to get very expensive if he gets charged with covering up and defrauding the American people. It's also going to get more expensive if the currency in his realm disappears, because he spent years and made millions saying to everybody that he knows the Epstein files are this bad. He's going to get to the bottom of it. He gets labeled and named the deputy director of the FBI. And as soon as we find out that Donald Trump isn't just in it, he is the Epstein files. As soon as we find out that this is so much fucking worse in so many ways, in geopolitical ways, financial ways, national security ways, not just these poor victims, Dan Bongino goes radio fucking silent. And so for a guy like Dan Bongino, he understands that this train, like some of these guys are starting to understand, this train is starting to come to a slow stop. And at the end of that train track, the people that said, you know what, I'm out. I'm out because of values. I'm out because of virtues. I'm out because the president's fucking pedophile. I'm out because he's covering up. He's literally running a pedophile protection racket out of the White House, and he's a rapist and he's a felon, and I made a mistake. The people that don't do that, two things are going to happen to them. too, and I can guarantee you this. And there's a real quick statement I'm gonna make, and if you're listening, if you're one of them, and I know you are because you watch Lev, which is why I'm talking to you right now. If you're listening, get a lawyer, preserve all records.
Yeah.
Get a lawyer, preserve all records, because not only will you never be trusted with anybody's information or affirmation ever fucking again, you're going to be labeled a nuclear hypocrite who protected a massive child pedophile ring that put America's national security and economy not just at risk, but in the fucking toilet. And you also helped hand that country over to Vladimir Putin and Moscow and outside influence. That is the most fucking un-American thing in the world. And not only is it un-American, you're now a seditious traitor to your fucking country, because A, you either bought it, or B, you thought you would fucking see what you could do in a very short period of time to see if you could outrun the long arm of the fucking law and justice and democracy. And so all of those people that we're talking about, those weak members of the herd, because we can see it, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Stephen Miller, who has been suspiciously silent. I don't know if you've noticed that. We haven't had a lot of Stephen Miller sightings. That fucking crazy.
He's hiding on the Air Force Base. He's scared.
He is. He totally is.
It's incredible. I mean, these guys, to go out there and scream the shit that they scream and talk the stuff, and then they go hide on the military base. It's they're all gonna. I mean, listen, this is the incredible part. The one thing I want to tell everybody is, you see how good it feels to be on the offense. This is what I keep preaching for months and months. I keep preaching. This is part of exactly what we need to be. We need Donald Trump. We need MAGA to be on the defense. And what did we have? And what is it taking him on the defense? Think about what we've been saying all along. The Epstein files, the economy. Those are the main two things that are right now putting him on his ass. And that's, we don't need a million different things. We need to keep pushing it, because those are things that are not a partisan issue. Those are things that both parties. It's not about if you're a Democrat or Republican. You want your prices of beef and eggs and everything to be lower. If you're a Republican or a Democrat, you don't want to protect pedophiles. You don't want to go out there, allow criminals. Well, some of them, we're not going to say some of them are actually doing it. So, but majority of the people. So this is not about right or left, folks. This is what I keep saying. This platform is about, unifying a message, getting our country back. This is about being able to speak about policy again, being able to agree to disagree, being able to try to say, okay, well, I'm more progressive, I'm more conservative, and still go have coffee or lunch afterwards, or go watch a baseball game and not care about. This is about getting back to the Thanksgiving table where some of our subscribers tell you stories about. Literally, you guys hear it about, I'm not going to mention names, that their own family won't let them, disown them because of the way they believe. So because, of political beliefs, we've gotten to a point where we have families that can't even have Thanksgiving together. Fathers and brothers and sisters. I mean, this is really, really what is the total opposite of what America is all about. This is the total opposite of what makes America great. And this is why America was a beacon and looked up to by every country in the world to be, because of that is what we had. And this is what Donald Trump did. And it wasn't just Donald Trump. It was because of people like Vladimir Putin that have been working this for a long time. This is other agencies, and then at the end of the day, what Donald Trump did and what MAGA is, he unleashed internal, like I said, there's about 30%. There was a internal deep far right fraction inside of the United States that didn't come out and vote. That was hidden. It was, and and that was part of our plan back in, 15, 16, to hit that part, to be able to unleash him. And it's like watching those movies, when you unleash, the criminals out of the cells and then they take over the prison. Well, this is what's basically happening. He basically unleashed them. And then also what he was able to is put them in certain positions of power. And now some of these people are not only are they unleashed, but they are in control and in power, like ICE, You know what I'm saying to you? Like, our military, Department of War now, a guy that runs on peace all of a sudden changes it to Department of War. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so
Puts
it's
10,000 troops in the Mediterranean with their most highly powered aircraft carrier. I mean, that's not a peacetime president. It's words and works. You and I talk about that all the time, right? Like, he can say whatever the fuck he wants. What you see him do is completely different because he's a fucking pathological liar. And I hear Malcolm Nance talk about that all the time. Listen, I'll have a conversation with you about this guy, but you have to cover everything he says with the fact that he's a fucking pathological liar. While he says one thing to you, he's completely doing something else behind the scenes.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And there's only a few people. See, you also have to understand why a lot of people say he's a pathological liar, because there's only a small group of people that really know what's really going on. It's like when we were dealing with Ukraine, like nobody except for me, Rudy, John Solomon, Victoria Tunzing, and Joe DeGenera, and Devin Nunez, Cash Patel. Nobody else really knew anything about what was going on in Ukraine. I mean, everybody else like Pompeo, John Bolton, all of the leadership. I mean, all of the diplomats, the Congress. Everybody else thought that there was one policy, and that's why I wrote my book, Shadow Diplomacy. Which that's another thing. This is a perfect time I encourage everybody. If you haven't yet gotten it, make sure you go to loveremembers.com and pick up Shadow Diplomacy, because first of all, it's basically a blueprint, and it's most of them it's the same players, and you'll get a good understanding of how Donald Trump became who he is, and how all of this played out, and why we're here, and you'll understand what I'm trying to do to stop it, and to what happened. So that's why it's extremely important that you do it. And the other,
it's a great book, by the way. And to that point, you said something to me once where you said Witkoff is the new Lev Parnas. If you read Shadow Diplomacy, you're like, oh my God, he's 100% right. Lev Parnas was the first Witkoff. He was ground zero for what Donald Trump does and how he engages in espionage and commits traitorous acts by excluding people that are supposed to be doing the job of foreign relations, sending in a team of fucking assassins to go and get him something that benefits him, right? That's what he's doing.
Yep. I mean, that's exactly. And while you have the Rubios of the world and everybody else going around pretending that they're meeting with Lavrov or meeting with this one and doing it, but they really have no say. They're really not making a decision. It's really the real people that are running the show right now are Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff, which I told you guys from day one, from the Middle East to what's happening in the Eastern Europe to what's happening down in Venezuela. He has his own small little circle of people that he trusts, because remember, all of these things have to also have financial dealings behind them. So that's why you can't have to, because, if you really look, and that's one of the other things that part of what my campaign is going to be about. I'll give you guys a little, so we're putting together basically, if you remember the campaign that we did to on the Bidens, well, we're going to do the same thing right now for the next year on the Trumps. So we're going to basically put together, especially about, we're going to tell you every move Eric and Donald Jr. do. We're going to tell you everything, but we're going to tell you the facts, the corruption. It's not going to be a one-day event. It's not going to be like Don Jr., was in Dubai and he got $2 billion and then we move. Oh no, we're going to, have
a sustained campain to educate you as to what these two absolute moron offspring of Donald Trump have been up to, right?
Well, not even to educate you guys, but to educate their own mega, to educate their own people, to see how they're screwing them, how they're robbing them, how they're what they're doing to them. So because they don't see it, because they got right now. See, when you're part of a cult, as I was, you don't see what's going around you. You think you got blinders on. So what you need to do is you need to pierce through it, and you need to explain to them. But you can't do it by trying to say stop being a Republican, become a Democrat. Because when you're in a cult, as soon as you hear the word Democrat, it triggers you. So the strategy is you don't talk about policy. You don't go over there. You go in there and you basically turn them against each other. You show them and saying, listen, this guy promised you this, but he's not doing this. This guy did this, he's not doing this. And eventually, because this is the anger, these people are not, most of them are not educated. These people are most deal with of emotion, and most of them are one sided, meaning like, if he cares about Second Amendment, he don't care about anything else. If she cares about, no wars or funding to Israel, she cares about nothing else. I mean, these are the type of people you're dealing with. And because of all of this craziness that he's doing and all of this division, and because now you don't have that unification, whereas you had before, that when something came out, you had Tucker Carlson, Bannon, Laura Loomer, Marjorie Taylor. These are now, all these names that we're talking about, they're all separated. They're all apart. They're all attacking.
The circle
and
smashed, right? Like they had this
the circle
beautiful
smash.
Sorry, to your point, they had this beautiful, and you really engineered that West Coast offense
Yeah,
for MAGA,
exactly.
where you turned this thing into a circle that had a centrifuge that could literally, employ that entire circle, everybody around it in their turrets, and beat back shit like this. Well, that circle is now smashed, right? That circle
Yep.
is now, in pieces on the floor, and they're now attacking each other. And to your point, and if I know anything about warfare, and if you've ever read the Art of War by Sun Tzu, if you know anything about winning, like really winning, when someone's on the floor, when things are in disarray, that is when you double down. That is when you triple down. That is when you put both feet on the gas, which is the importance of supporting what Lev is doing, which is the importance of subscribing and going and donating to his GoFundMe so that he can do what he's going to do as soon as he gets off supervision. You are going to North Carolina. You are going to Washington, D.C. You are going to take the fight to them with a group of individuals, aggregating those individuals and taking the fight to them, because we know that these guys are gasping for air. And when someone's gasping for air like this, and this is fascism, this is not a political movement, this is authoritarianism, this is fascism. We've seen this play before. You step on the fucking necks of fascism, especially when those fascists are beating the shit out of each other while begging for help from the outside. And that's what we're seeing. Like all of the receipts that we're seeing from Trump's Truth Social, like, it's them, look over there, it's not me, it's them. I mean, dude, like, he is on the ground. And now is the time to go and support people like Lev. Now is the time to continue to subscribe. Now's the time to fill up that GoFundMe to activate Lev, because not only is it just Lev, it's Lev's entire community. It's our entire community. And there are things going on behind the scenes that we can't talk about, where, there's this concerted effort to take the fight to them. What are you smiling about? What's so funny?
I said soon. We'll be able to tell soon.
Soon, folks. Soon. Thanks for doing this, dude.
Yeah. I do me a favor, Dean. There's a couple of people want my thing is, and I apologize. People try to ask a question, but I'm so delayed. Are you also delayed? Like,
like I'm getting Ellie's stuff now, right? Like I'm just getting some of the comments from
really?
her. Yeah.
Guys, let's do it for next time. Maybe once we post it, if a lot of you have questions and we want to make sure we get, but because of the delay, maybe put them in like the chat, my chat, or Dean's chat, or DM us, and so we could definitely get to you. Also, if you want to come up, sometimes because of the delay, we might not see you. Press it. Let us know ahead of time, because we're going to be doing these on the regular. So this way you could come up also and join us. This is for paid subscribers to make sure what's it called. But I want to leave you guys on this note. And this is very important. I want you to tell you give you a little difference of what we're trying to do, what my plan is compared to what a lot of the Democrats are doing, and that's why it's important that we have to be. Everybody has to do what they do, but this is important. So most of these groups out there are out there. They, it's not most, but all of them are out there debating policies.
Yeah.
They're trying to win back. They're trying to say you should stop voting for Trump because he's bad on the economy. He's bad on this. He's doing this. You should become Democrats because we're going to do this and this. So they're fighting for the vote. But there's also an interesting part, what Trump did, what I want to undo what Trump did. And if I could undo what Trump did, then we win automatically. So Trump tapped into a group of people that never voted, that voted only, and that's why they come out only when Trump is there. If I could turn those people to just stop voting again because they're upset with Trump, forget about voting for a Democrat. Forget about voting for anybody. Just go back and stop voting. That's a huge win for us also. Because a no vote is the same thing as a vote because the margins are so thin.
Yeah.
So right now, our campaign is simple. It's like you go back to you don't want to vote for what's it called somebody that is lying to you because these people have more of a personal agenda with what is promised to them.
Yeah.
It's a different group. It's hardcore MAGA is a different group. It's not. It's not the people you see on TV or the people you see in.
Yeah, it's not strategic. It's personal.
Strategic, right? It's personal, right? So that's why a lot of stuff like this Epstein stuff and other things is very personal, and he's crossed the line, and a lot of those fractions are split right now, and that is why right now is more important than ever because the midterms are right around the corner. We also, part of the plan is to go into all of these states where there are going to be tight races, to be able to do what the Democrats can't, to go and speak at town halls where they can't be invited to be able to also very important to buy up airtime because one of the things though these far right channels like Fox and Newsmax, they're not gonna invite me up to go up there and destroy them, and they're not gonna have me as a guest. So we have to be strategic. We have to go buy some airtime. We have to put up some strategic videos to be able to commercials to play on Fox during their basically destroying all their stuff, forcing them to then have to be able to invite us on to be able to debate the stuff. There's a lot of strategic stuff that we could do, but unfortunately, and that's where they have an advantage over us is their funding is a lot more stronger. But we're getting there. We're getting there, and I want to say thank you to all of you guys because I know most of you are taking away from other things. Some of you are even taking away from gifts and other things to be able to donate, to contribute to, so we could be able to get this done. And the only thing I could tell you is I could promise you is we are all in. My whole family's all in. We are going to do whatever we can. I know Dean is all in. I know there's other players. I'm not going to mention their names, but when they're ready to come out, there's a whole team that we're assembling of people, of powerful people that are like-minded, that want to care about one thing, and that's to save our democracy, to be able to stop Donald Trump and his enablers doing what they're doing so we could get back to having a country where we could be able to, again, like I said, sit all around the dinner table, debate politics and laugh about it, and then go have watch a football game afterwards instead of never speaking again.
Well said. And listen, to that point, Lev's got to GoFundMe. Let's slap that in the chat real quick if we can, to build a bigger boat, to be able to fund this fight, to go back to people, to build a team, to build a media network, to build adjacent partnerships. The one thing that's very, very important to me, and I know it's important to Lev, and you and I have touched on this, is to be beautiful stewards for these people that have put their faith and trust and financial trust in us by supporting us financially, whether it be with a subscription, whether it be with a GoFundMe donation, to be able to build this so we can fight for you and we can take the fight to them. And the reason why that's important, and I was struck by something the other day after we did our last, I think it was our Monday, our weekend roundup, is there's a gentleman that sent you a note. I don't know if you saw it. It was beautiful. And he's like, I want you to know not only did I donate, but my son who has Down syndrome gave me his allowance to donate to you as well, because we believe in you. And I need everybody to understand that. We're all called, everybody's called names when you partner with the public. None of this is grifting. Lev is as honest and a straight shooter, and the values and the virtues that man has to be not just good stewards of your good faith, the values and the virtues that we both share dictate that this is why we are here, not just to take the fight to them and partner with you, to be really good stewards and to be so grateful that we have a chance to partner with you. There's no greater fucking compliment than, and I believe this to be true, anybody can go get a job and work for anybody else, right? But when someone supports you with their time and their finances because they believe in you, that is the fucking ultimate compliment. And Lev knows that, and I know that. This is not going to be one of those projects where, we shut off a GoFundMe and then you never hear from us again. We are going to be in constant contact with you all the time. You have invested with us. We are invested in you. We're invested in this result, which is electoral change, which is the absolute fucking death and kneecapping of fascism in the United States of America. And that's why it's a cross-border effort. And you're going to start seeing more of that. You're going to start seeing Canada take the fight. You're going to start seeing people like Lev take the fight. You're going to start seeing Canada and America. You're going to see Americans and Canadians come together in this beautiful woven fabric of pushback. And that is why we're all here. So if you can hit that chyron at the top, become a subscriber, please do so. If you can become a paid subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you. We do nothing but do this for you because we are you. And to partner with you and to take you with us with an army of people at our back makes me emotional. It gives me chills because this is the goal. Excuse me, I'm getting a little choked up. So thank you all for joining us today for Coffee and Tea with Lev and Dean. Thank you for your interaction. Thank you for driving the content today. Thank you for your questions. We'll make some necessary changes next week so we can get to those questions in real time.
Absolutely.
To your point, it's a great idea. We'll take some DMs, but we're here for you because we are you and we love you. So keep taking that fight to the people. Keep supporting, keep amplifying, and more importantly, let's have some fun with this too, because there's I have a feeling we're going to get a few pelts out of this.
Yeah. Listen, and Dean's 100% right. For all the days we suffer, for all those days that we have that churning in our stomach, for all those days that we come home and we want to break the TV because of the news that's going on, for all those days, enjoy yourself, because like I said, mental health is a major thing. So yes, laugh about it, enjoy it. The guy is insane, as crazy it is, enjoy it, move on to this is good news. We're finally seeing the hard work of our communities, our words pay off, and just keep doing it. And there's a light at the end of this tunnel, folks. I promise you that. And eventually we're all going to be there. So Dean, I love you, brother.
Love you, pal.
Wonderful weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Monday, make sure 1:00. It's we're on Dean's channel. We're gonna be doing same thing, but on Dean's channel, it's gonna be the weekly wrap up. By Monday, we're gonna have a lot of breaking news because there's a lot of things happening over this weekend. It's just the beginning, folks. So make sure you tune in at 1:00 on Monday on Dean Blundell channel. Take care,
Thanks, guys.
Have a great weekend.
See you Monday. Thanks, pal.